Hi everybody. So this past Friday I finished up my Song Sketchbook series. I did 20 whole entries, didn't miss a week. And I wanted to do a video to talk about why I started that project and what I learned from that project. Now, back in May I released my first EP called Hold Still, which is great, but I needed to know what to do next. I could just sat there and wrote and record the songs and eventually release an album. But in this day and age, you gotta keep the content coming. So I decided to write a song a week, which I had done in the past. However, I also decided to up the ante and record the song in that same week. That's not easy. I had never done anything like that before, and originally writing a song per week, I would take a solid 5 to 7 days to write the whole thing, let alone recording a full song. So I decided we had the pandemic going on, working from home, had a bit of extra time during the day, give it a shot. So I did. I stuck to a strict schedule every day except Friday and Saturday. I was in my little messy studio here recording, and it wasn't easy. To start off, I actually did have a week buffer in between songs, but that quickly shortened to writing and recording and releasing the song all in 1 week. I quickly learned what I needed to do every given day in order to accomplish this. I started Sunday nights. I would write the song. I would get that thing knocked out either over the course of the day or, as with a couple songs, over just a single hour, getting the lyrics and the chords down. Then Monday was typically drums. Tuesday was typically guitar and vocals. Wednesday was typically bass, synth, whatever else I'd add to it. Thursday was mixing, uploading to YouTube, and releasing. I lost a lot of sleep staying up late, getting these things finished, but kept it up, didn't miss a week. Now, when I started, I was still very much in my style of that Hold Still is in, that rock slash folky thingy that I was doing. I still very much love. However, over the course of the sketch series, as I needed to come up with new ideas to try to inject character into the songs, I started adding more elements to my music. Things like a synthesizer or additional guitar pedals that I would find on Facebook Marketplace or Reverb or what have you. You know, just adding just little bits of character to the songs, as well as figuring out different ways to structure the songs and ways to even write the songs that I hadn't thought of before. And I also learned halfway through that you gotta let the song dictate itself. You cannot cram a song into a style. I actually had one failure called If Only, that I it sounds like two different songs. I had the lyrics and I was going for one style, but the lyrics did not fit that style, and it ended up sounding like an absolute mishmash. It's still on YouTube. However, I've kind of swept it under the rug, and it's not in the playlist. You can still find it if you search it up, but do save yourself some trouble and just don't bother. No point. Now I had that failure, but I also had some high points, like where are all the jetpacks? That's actually going to be the lead single off my album, which I am now going back and listening to and re-recording bits to it. I feel that actually was one of those songs that just inspiration hit at the right time. It just worked perfectly. And I actually see that song as the beginning of what would become my own sound. Another aspect of this project, this experiment, whatever you want to call it, was that I needed to try to find my own sound. The songs in Hold Still are very much mine. It's that nerdy, rocky, folky songs, but they also sound like a lot of other songs out there. So I'm very much trying to find my own sound, and I feel I have very much started to do that with this Song Sketchbook series, and Where Are All the Jetpacks is the first good example of that. Here's a listen.
Things right. So much promised. It didn't happen, did it? Where are all the jetpacks? Where are all the flying cars? Where is the...
After that, I realized pretty quickly that this is where I needed to go. I incorporated the synth and various guitar pedals. I started using those more and more, and by the time I hit the 20th entry, it said something impossibly new. I feel I had at least the beginnings of a sound that I could call my own, that when people hear it, they say, hey, that's the real Michael Lee. You know, and having that is important. It's, you have a million whoever's out there, but if you don't have your own sound, what's the point? And doing the song a week, you're forced to learn to come up with new ideas, and I was forced to learn what I wanted my sound to be. And right now I'm very happy with where it's going. Now, doing a song a week, you have to come up with ways to kind of cheat the system and get that song done and get it out there. So I learned a lot of tricks to kind of mold my songs quicker versus sitting there and tweaking and tweaking and tweaking. Sometimes I had to leave stuff in that I wasn't necessarily happy with, but I still felt had potential later on. Now, in writing these song sketches, one thing I really had to focus on was learning little tricks and things to get the tracks done and complete and out there in this very short time span. And one of the ways to develop those tricks was to look at how I was writing the songs, how I performed them, how I played them, and learning what worked best for me. Now, for songwriting, that was typically start with a line or two and get that melody down, then build from there. Then with recording, the easiest thing for me to do, instead of copying and pasting everything, which I did do early on, but after probably the 10th or 11th one, I kind of stopped doing that, with the exception of maybe a chorus here or there. I would actually sit there and I'd punch in. I would just go through the entire song. If I messed up or whatever, stop, new track, punch in there, go from there. That also helped me learn the songs better. Now, I don't have them all memorized, but this actually did assist me in remembering how to play them for when I have to go back to it. Now, do I remember how to play everything? No, the bass lines are going to be a pain to try to figure out again, but I will figure it out. I also learned my limitations as a musician while doing this project. And to help with that, I studied a bit of music theory during this whole project and tried to incorporate that into my songs. I also try to learn new techniques on guitar and little things here and there to add more character to the songs and to increase my ability as a musician as a whole. That's something I always keep in the forefront of my mind. You know, what can I do next? What can I do better? And this 20-week stint with the Song Sketchbook really kind of brought that to the forefront and forced me to confront my own limitations and find ways to fix them. You know, I'm not the strongest vocalist, but I learned what my voice can handle better than I did at the start. You know, song 1 versus song 20 are vastly different. Am I a virtuoso? No, but I'm more comfortable with my own voice and my own playing style now than I was 20 weeks ago. And I mean, that's huge for any artist, just that growth and wanting to grow and wanting to get better. And this sketchbook series really helped me with that. And hopefully it'll help you too. You know, I documented the entire process on my website, therealmichaellee.com, all one word, where you can read week by week what I was feeling with that song, what I knew needed to be fixed, and even where the ideas for the songs came from. Some of them came from weird places. Some of them I had sitting around for a while. I did do 2 covers, cheat weeks, but they were fun. if there's nothing else, it helped me to better appreciate the songwriting process and to learn how to better do it, and in doing so, how to find appreciation in the work that goes into it. Because the hardest part of songwriting is beginning to write, is to sit down and start the project. Others have said that. I firmly believe it. And to get in that mindset, I didn't always want to sit down on a Sunday evening and write a song, but I would have to jazz myself up and get in that mindset, and I had to teach myself little tricks to do that. One thing I really like to do was read about other people writing songs and little tricks they did, and that would get me jazzed up to go. I got my brother gave me a book about the Beatles and every song they ever wrote, and the story behind that. I love just flipping through that, picking a couple entries, and just to get me jazzed up for songwriting. Like, okay, now I want to go and write a song. Just a couple entries, just something to get that brain in that mindset. So I found that really helpful. And in the end, I could get myself in that mindset without having to have the outside stimulus, because I had learned how to set my mind in motion for that without the aid, which is really important because you don't always have those by you. And if you're putting yourself in a situation where you need to write fairly quickly, and it's handy to have that. Now, it's something not everyone can do. I completely understand that. And I had to force myself to do it by sticking to this strict regimen of songwriting and recording. And, I didn't always want to do it, but in the end, I came out better for sticking to it. And I hope that seeing this, listening to my rambling here, and reading my blog will help others to grow in their own craft and learn how they can better songwrite and get to where they want to go, or at least get on the path to where they want to go in their own career and in their own artistic ability. So thank you for listening to me rambling, and check out my song sketches. They're all on YouTube. And check out my website, therealmichaellee.com. I'm also on Bandcamp and Spotify. I have a couple Bandcamp only EPs available there, which includes 3 of the less sketchy songs from my Song Sketchbook series, all available to purchase. And check me out on Twitter at @TRealMichaelLee. Same thing with Facebook. And Instagram is TheRealMichaelLee. Shoot me a DM or what have you, and we'll keep in touch. Thank you.